Hey there, welcome to Game Does Play Games, where you can watch games and practice game design, and we are here today with some frickin' Cuphead.
Frickin' Cuphead.
I think frickin' Cuphead's gonna be the sequel. I'm lying. There will never be a sequel to this game, for so many reasons.
You say that right, but then they made Sandlot 2, and then you're just like, my childhood didn't mean anything. This is a game made by Studio MDHR,
which stands for Moldenheiser.
Moldenheiser?
Yes.
I think so. It's an acronym for Moldenheiser. They're the two brothers that made this game, which is incredibly impressive that two people made this game.
They ended up getting a team for...
I played a little bit of this, by the way. If you couldn't...
He played a little bit. I beat it.
Yeah, Nathan. So Nathan's going to be the...
Moldenhauer.
Once upon a time, in a magical place called Inkwell Isle, there were two brothers named Cuphead and Mugman. They lived without a care under the watchful eye of the wise Elder Kettle. Cute. One day, two boys wandered far from home, and despite the Elder Kettle's many warnings, ended up on the wrong side of the tracks and entered the Devil's Casino. Oh, it sounds like a good idea. Inside, Cuphead and Mugman soon found themselves on a winning streak at the craps table.
Hot dog!
Exclaimed King Dice, the casino's sleazy manager.
These fellas can't lose! Nice run, oh wait, no. Newcomer. Nice run, boys.
Laughed a newcomer. The brothers gasped. It was the casino's owner, the devil himself.
Now how about we raise the stakes?
He suggested with a toothy grin.
One more roll and all the loot in my casino is yours.
The devil bloomed.
But if you lose, I'll have your souls. Deal?
Cuphead, blinded by riches, nodded and grabbed the dice for a throw.
Good gosh, Cuphead, no!
Cried Mugman, for he understood the danger, but it was too late.
Snake eyes!
Laughed the devil while slamming the floor.
You lose!
The brothers trembled in fear as he loomed over them.
Now, about them souls.
The brothers pleaded for their very lives.
Oh, there must be another way to repay you.
Mugman stammered.
Yes, please, mister.
Cuphead added.
Perhaps there is.
The devil snickered, pulling out a parchment.
I have here a list of my runaway debtors. Collect their souls for me, and I just might pardon you two mugs. Now get out!
The devil roared, kicking the boys out most rudely.
You have till midnight tomorrow to collect every one of those souls, otherwise I'll be collecting yours.
Cuphead and Mugman were terribly frightened and ran away as fast as they could.
Come on, Mugman!
Panted Cuphead.
We have to find Elder Kettle. He'll know what to do.
I didn't realize they only had 24 hours, though. That's a tight timeline.
Until midnight the next day. So, I mean, let's...
Oh, that could be less than 24 hours.
No, I mean, it could be more than... It could be, because, never mind.
That's true.
What a fire pickle you boys got yourselves into. I know you don't want to be pawns of the devil.
How'd you know?
But if you refuse, I can't bear to imagine your fates. You must play along for now, collect those contracts, and you best be ready for some nasty business. Your battle friends won't be very friendly once you confront them. In fact, I expect they'll transform to terrible beasts. Don't take this post so they won't hang out too dry. I will remark the most remarkable magical abilities. Now go to my writing desk and use the mystical inkwell there. You'll need to prepare yourself for a scrap. Y'all brace yourselves for power.
So this is the tutorial. I actually really appreciated this as the tutorial. It's just like a quick little all right, these are the controls. That's how you do the thing. I didn't do the thing. Here's how you do the thing. And you can descend, shoot, boo, boo, boo. You can lock and stay in place, I'm really, really happy that's a mechanic.
Oh, yeah, it's...
Oh, they want me.
Absolutely a necessity. Boink.
This is the one thing that took me a long time to figure out was, I totally skipped this when I was playing this. I was like, oh sweet, I can resurrect. Well, I don't have player 2, so
Chris pays a lot of attention to things.
Yep. Game design.
Yo, brace yourselves for power.
I've been making
There's
that
no
reference.
more there's barely any more talking left in the game, so if that bothered you, don't worry about it.
I've been making that reference for the past 2 or 3 series that I've done with other people, and nobody laughs at it. I'm like,
Oh,
I
little
think it's
little
funny."
Jared.
So, okay, Cuphead. It's what, a shoot 'em up adventure with platforming components?
Yes. Yeah, I would definitely. Some people call it a platformer. I would highly argue that because platforming is not the main component of it. There are platforms, obviously.
It's pretty minor, all things considered.
So we want to have you fight the first boss by yourself, or how do we want to do this?
Yeah, I say you should jump in. Let's start things off with both of us because...
What are you doing? What are you doing? I gotta jump in. What do you...
I don't know how this works. I've never played with it.
Do you not want to go to the shop?
Can we even buy anything there? We have 3 coins. 4 coins.
You get one from the tutorial. Oh.
That's right.
Oh.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't go to the shop right away because I thought I could afford it. I like that we can each buy different things, though.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
Absolutely. I do wonder if, like, what you, like, because you can boot player, too. I wonder if, like, you do that, they have to rebuy everything, or if they're stuck in their purchases. Not really sure, honestly.
I can see that going either way. Because, like, it's probably going to always mirror what player 1 has.
Well, maybe.
I guess that's fair.
Boy, I love this guy. He reminds me so much of the pig from Wonder Boy.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if that was part of the reason they chose...
I wouldn't doubt it, which is really interesting because this game clearly is being made before Wonder Boy was re-released.
Oh, that's right. I mean, that game was in development for a while, too, so it wasn't as though it, like, was off the radar and they just... Like, for all we know, maybe they started remaking Wonder Boy and the devs at Studio MDHR were like, oh, we kind of want to do something similar, but do an original IP. So, what's the difference between simple and regular?
So, the difference is that instead of the boss just being easier, you don't get, like, the boss's last form.
Oh,
so it's shorter because they just cut out one of its forms usually.
And arguably the last form is usually the most difficult. I don't know if it's always the case in this game, but
I mean, it's certainly intended if not actually.
So can I parry any projectile?
Nope,
or
just pink ones.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard on a video, and I didn't know if that was true since I didn't really understand the parry mechanic until recently.
I've got all 3 of them for us. Ow.
What do you mean all 3 of them?
I parried 3 times. Go back.
Is that a thing that we want to do?
Why don't we just beat this boss and find out, huh?
Oh, is that like a special...
You get graded at the end of every boss.
Oh, right.
Ow.
Yeah, I forgot that was a thing. And they increase your grade based on how many times you parry, right?
Yeah.
So, is this the first intended boss?
You know, I want to say yes, because usually when I see people, like, playing, I usually see them, I feel like I usually see them fight this one first. That said, like, there is nothing making you, fight them in this order.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of like, a hierarchy to which enemies you can fight at which times, but there's a few options in the starting area. And I guess you could just, like, go straight to the platforming zones and then just go to the last boss of the island.
Yeah.
If you really
there's also a few shortcuts and things you could take, but the thing is, like, that's actually something we'll talk about later, is actually the map design, because it's interesting. So, you get graded on everything at the end. So what they do, let's take a look at this real quick. So, you get graded on time, right? You get graded on how many health you've lost. We share that number. So you cannot lose more than, did it go away automatically?
Yeah, it auto did it.
All right, so you get that. Then, and so if you get hit 3 times or if you get hit twice and I get hit once, like, that still brings us down to 0 out of the 3. Then you get graded on, go up. Then you get graded on, what's it called? How many times you parry. So if you parry 3 times, then you reach that requirement. And then you get, and then what's really cool is you're graded on if you've used 6 like super bars basically.
Is that so? You do want to use the super?
They encourage you to use them.
I like that because
I like it a lot.
otherwise, I feel like players would just not use it unless they were just kind of playing casually, which I guess most people do. But
For the most part, it's a no-brainer to use it, but players are going to forget. I think it encourages them to remember to use those powers.
Yeah. The system actually has a built-in way of reminding the player hey, you could have gotten a better grade if you used your super.
Mm-hmm.
So you see it every boss, and you're like, I could have made my life easier and gotten a better grade.
Something I want to check real quick. Okay.
So we can refight bosses.
We can refight bosses. We can do simple and regular. And when you beat the game, all the bosses unlock expert.
Oh.
So instead of doing a new game plus or anything like that, instead it just makes a third option available on all the bosses on your current game.
That's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool. I was like, oh, that's an elegant way of solving that rather than having to go through the game all over again.
Nice.
Yeah. Ruse of the news? What are we doing on time? Go.
We have 4 minutes, so
we can. Every boss is like 2 minutes long, so it's like...
Yeah, that's fair. And at this point, the bosses are still pretty easy, but it definitely gets more difficult.
Do.
He says as he takes damage. Oh, you can just crouch underneath him. I definitely did not do that.
So for the record, my superpowers, my other weapon is the roundabout, and this is one of my favorite guns actually, because what you want to do.
Ricochet.
No, so it only goes so far forward, and then it will start moving backward. Oh, I can't. I see. Remember what I was talking about before? How he's actually really big, and that you can't get to the other person.
Yeah. I think I...
Oh, you're not... Okay. Dick.
Oh. I think I mostly like that as a mechanic, actually. I think that's okay, because it sort of justifies having to actually chase down your partner in order to revive them. If you could just, hit a button and revive me, then I feel like there would be there'd be no chance of actually, failing. Oh, I like that they show where we each died in the process.
Yeah.
All right, this time's for real.
So, so the roundabout, this gun I'm using, does more damage on its way back.
Oh.
So I think DPS-wise, it becomes, probably the strongest gun.
Huh. Yeah, especially because a lot of the times I feel like you're very likely to be facing away from your opponent.
Yeah, and that's the challenge of it. Every gun except for the basic gun, every gun has a challenge to it. Your close range one is actually pretty ideal in this matchup.
Yeah,
but you have to be close to him. I can't.
Wait. Sorry, buddy. Yeah.
We're making it through together, Chris.
So let's talk about there actually being a retry function. I think that for a game that's intended to be difficult, that's really important because if you fail early on, that's your method of trying to prevent wasted time.
Oh, absolutely. There's been so many times I fought bosses and got hit within the first second. I was like, nope, and I just retried.
Yeah, no, that was exactly the same for me too.
You're at what, 2 health? Okay.
Yeah, I'm still good. Just gonna...
Oh, and I fail-voted that.
So these guys, starting off, are pretty simple bosses, right? They have pretty predictable patterns.
Yep.
Easy to dodge maneuvers. There's really not a ton going on screen either, so it doesn't take very long to learn their behaviors. And it gets us used to the 3-form structure, which I think most of the bosses have 3 forms.
No, they get more as it goes along.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do I use the super? Oh, there we go. Oh, nice. Ooh, all right, I'll just use it twice. And for co-op, you were saying that enemies have more health?
Yeah, I feel like, we've been wailing on this guy. This match is going to take just about as long as it would if I were playing one player. So that's probably means that enemies have more health because they compensate for there being 2 people. Maybe a little faster. Oh,
I
right.
wouldn't parry anything.
I don't really...
Would you parry his boxing glove?
His boxing glove is red, but maybe you can. I guess that would make sense.
Is there...
I don't really know what else to parry.
Is there always a set amount of things to parry?
No,
because
because usually every form has something that you can parry. Let's go back.
So does it like increment up if there are more? Oh, right, we got the country. Does it increment up if you miss more parry opportunities, or is it just get 3 parries to get the max
total.
Score for that parry option?
Just get 3 parries total.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Maybe
I kind of like
jump
that.
on his nose.
Well, definitely not on his face.
Nothing pink there. Nope.
I feel like the choice of doing the pink objects is cruel for those of us who are colorblind.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna have a hard time with this.
I have a harder time with pink than I do with red, actually.
Oh, that's gonna suck.
I think that's why
maybe just avoid them and. Boom.
Oh.
Okay. We got two.
Interesting.
And then
so it was the question marks? What a weird place to put the parry.
This is a weird boss.
This is
probably the most like this boss confused me the most because I always looked at him and was like, he doesn't fit in.
Well, yeah, he's the only boss that, at least as far as I know, that strictly uses melee combat. All the other ones have some form of projectiles, right? I mean, even the carrot.
Say yes.
I guess the first 2 forms of the garden had only melee attacks.
No,
but...
because the crying was.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, anyway, we're at time for this episode.
Well, yeah, we have more to talk about. Yeah, go find that secret.
Oh, I didn't actually know there was a secret.
Boom, achievement, cutting corners. All right.
Are these 2 points connected? Because I know that some kind of bridge gets made, right?
Once we beat this, I think it'll connect. Which, I mean...
What's this dude?
But just get back over here. Just finish this episode, and then we'll go through it like, God damn. All right, everybody.
Question of the day. What are they doing in the initial 2 bosses that we went through? What are they doing to kind of establish the flow, the pattern,
I would say to teach the player
set expectations for future bosses?
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.